Hello, everyone. I'm Megan Graham, and today I'm here to share 5 surprising things that you may not know about LifeWave patches. I help people all the time with LifeWave patches, and there are just some things that when I am helping a client at the very beginning and I share some of these things, they tend to be very surprised when they learn a few of these things. So I wanted to come on and share these with people that may not be my clients, but might be interested to know some interesting facts about LifeWave patches. So the first very interesting thing that I didn't learn about LifeWave patches until months into using them myself, and if you don't know what LifeWave patches are, this is the X39 patch that I'm talking about. It works through phototherapy or photobiomodulation. And so the first thing that people are often surprised by when I tell them is that you do not actually need to wear this patch directly on your skin. You can wear it on your skin. Actually, I'm going to put my patch on now because I was so busy today, I forgot. So you can put your patch on your skin. For instance, most of the time, I actually put my patch behind my neck. But what's really interesting is you can actually use your LifeWave patch and you can put it on the outside of your clothing. So let's say you have patches with you, you have a friend who is experiencing some pain and you would like to put the patch onto your friend. You don't need to have a friend, lift up their shirt or kind of expose their skin. You can put it on the outside of clothing and it is still going to work. So this is also really useful if people are sensitive to adhesive. And even with my pets, I am not putting my patches directly onto my pets. I am putting the patches onto their collars and the patches are still working. So that's kind of an important thing, especially when I use my LifeWave X39 patches on my cats. I think if I were to stick the patch to their fur, they would remove the patch in minutes and it obviously wouldn't be staying on their bodies. So that is kind of a very surprising thing for a lot of people. The second thing that many people don't know about the LifeWave X39 patch is that although when you get the patches, you are going to, if you actually read directions, you get a little brochure and it will show you 2 locations where you can put the X39 patch. So it's going to show you an area right at the bottom, at the base of your neck. And it's also going to show you another area that's about probably 3 fingers below your belly button. You can use the patches here, but what a lot of people don't know is that the X39 patch is going to work regardless of where you put it on your body. And so you don't have to use one of those locations, although I frequently do. You can also decide to put it where you think you need help the most. So let's say, for instance, I have a friend that started patching, and what he was really hoping to see a change with is he had a lot of he had injured his knees. And so he chose to put the patch right on his knee. So it's really a personal thing. You can experiment with it, but as far as placing the X39, you can really place it just about anywhere. Obviously not on broken skin and things like that. By the way, if I didn't include this, I am not giving medical advice. This is for educational purposes only, but I love to come on here and just, obviously I can't talk to everyone because I do consult with my clients and things, but I try to get as much information out for free to other people as possible, just to help you have just an easier experience with the patches. I think that the more that you know, the better they're going to work for you. So the next thing that you may not know is that LifeWave has actually been around a lot longer than most people know. So most people started hearing about LifeWave probably back in 2019. And that is, I believe it's 2019 when they actually came out with, this was the Hallmark patch. So this really changed everything about the company. But what many people don't know is that LifeWave actually started all the way back in 2004. And this was the original patch that started everything for LifeWave. And if you don't know the story behind it, Energy Enhancer was actually created to help to keep the Navy SEALs energized without using stimulants. I believe that the contract, don't quote me, but I'm not sure if it fell through. But either way, the reason that LifeWave was brought to market as a consumer product is that it didn't actually wind up going to the Navy SEALs, although it was created for them. David actually decided to market it and bring it to the general public. So if it wasn't for the Navy SEALs, we wouldn't have the X39 patch. We wouldn't have the entire LifeWave lineup at this point. So it's a really interesting story. I am constantly grateful for LifeWave. If you don't know my story, I dealt with chronic illness for a very, very long time, wasn't getting a foothold. Things were not changing for me. And people kept telling me about the patches, and I just didn't think that they could possibly work. I mean, honestly, it seemed ridiculous to me that such a tiny little patch could make such a big difference. So I didn't give it a chance for the longest time. I kept saying no. I didn't like that it was an MLM. That was kind of a turnoff for me. And eventually a very, very trusted friend came to me. And at that point I was desperate. She wasn't selling it. She was sharing it. She just kind of had a distributor account, and she told me about it and just said, you should use it. You should watch this video. And so that's how I started using it. And that is my story. But anyway, enough about me. So the next thing that a lot of people don't know is that the X39 patch is actually patented. David actually has patents on all of his patches. And not only that, a lot of people think that there are not clinical studies. There have been over 80 clinical studies done on the patches, so there's lots of research. It's kind of an interesting thing. All of the research is available in the back office, which brand partners have access to. So when I go into my back office, which is kind of like my business dashboard, I can see all of those studies. I can't really speak to why they're not. I mean, I believe I know the reason that they're not available. But anyway, they are there. There's tons of studies. There's a lot of science backing everything up. And many people don't know that there's actually a patent. And the last thing that many people don't know is that the patch it's activating your body's own light. So it is working with low level light. And a lot of people think, okay, well then how is it working if I wear it? So for instance, my patch is underneath my bodysuit. And so people would say, well, how is it getting light? It's actually working with the infrared heat or infrared light of your body. So if you were to take a picture, of your body with an infrared camera, you would see that there is a particular heat signature and there's an aura of light around you. The patches work with that. So a lot of people are under the impression that the patches are putting ingredients into your body, but in fact, the patches are non-transdermal, which means that the patches are not putting anything into your body. So these are to me, some of the most interesting things about the LifeWave patches. I think they're an amazing product. It's amazing that something that looks like a little sticker can do as much as it can do. So that is one thing. So I also am going to just answer a little question. So a lot of people ask me, how do I know what patches to start with? As far as what patches to start with, and I know I've definitely talked about this in videos, but I always like to, say it quickly. X39 is always the patch to start with. If you have any issues at all, if there is anything that you are really looking to improve in your body, if you have a diagnosed condition, if you have symptoms, start with the Eon as well. The Eon and the X39 work synergistically, and at least in my experience with working with hundreds and hundreds of clients and consulting with people get better results when they use the X39 and the Eon together. To make you buy more patches, it's simply my experience that if you have an issue, you can try a shortcut and you can try to only use the X39, but your results will be better if you use both of them together. This is a combination that I start clients with all the time. It works beautifully. It is amazing for addressing inflammation. It is amazing for putting you into the proper state of having a balanced nervous system so that your body can heal. Because what most people don't understand is that it is not possible really to come out of an illness if you are constantly in a state of extreme stress or fight or flight. So that is a great patch to put you into a more balanced nervous system state, which really just makes a huge, huge difference. So I like to keep it simple. There are many other patches, but for the most part, it's a big ask when you're starting these patches. So they do so much. So as a consultant, I really never start anybody out with, 5 different patches. I truly believe that slow and steady wins the race. And I also think that sometimes that's perhaps all you're going to need. So why not start out with less, give your body a chance to get used to them. And then if you really need to add other things later, add other things later. Obviously, I am a LifeWave brand partner. This is It's not what I do for a full-time living, but it is a really important product that I share all the time. And so for me, yes, I have every single patch, but I'm not wearing every single patch every day. For instance, energy enhancer, maybe I wear this patch once a month and it has a time and a place. I just don't need to wear it every day. So a lot of people, when I show, I think there's 8 or 10 patches for LifeWave, and people are like, oh, you're just trying to sell everybody every patch. No, absolutely not at all. I just want people to know that they exist and somewhat at least know what they do for me. Now, this is a question I get asked all the time. Can I wear more than one patch at a time? Yes, you absolutely can wear more than one patch at a time. However, for the most part, you do not need to wear more than one X39 at the same time, and I wouldn't suggest it if you're just starting wearing the patches. I think it would be a lot on the body to ask your body to wear more than one patch at the same time. And here is the caveat. Yes, can you wear Eon and LifeWave X39 at the same time? You absolutely can. Would you want to wear 5 patches at the very beginning when you're just starting? I wouldn't recommend it. It's not what I would personally do. Again, I think that is asking your body to do a lot. And let's face it, when we introduce a lot of modalities at the same time to support our body's healing processes, that can actually backfire sometimes. There is such a thing, believe it or not, as too much of a good thing. And if these things were properly spaced out and you paced it and you added patches gradually as needed, you would most likely have much better results. And so obviously, when I work with people and I consult them before they start using patches for new clients, by the way, my email is in the description. And if you need help and you'd like to work with me personally as your consultant, please feel free to send me an email. I often hop on the phone with people, not to pressure them, but because it's just so much easier to convey a full information when you actually speak to someone. You get to know their issues and you can speak personally to them. But anyway, the thing that I always recommend is to add patches gradually and slowly. You will never hear me setting somebody up with patches and telling them to wear 4 patches at the beginning. So yes, you can wear more than one patch. I just simply wouldn't suggest probably wearing more than 2 patches at the very beginning. I'm just a little bit more conservative about how I set people up, and that is how I do things. Claudia, hello, Claudia. Claudia says, hi, Megan, really appreciate all the information you provide about the patches. Thank you so much. I appreciate you popping in here so much. And so anyway, that is just a little bit about the patches. And also, if you would like to get started with patching, I wanted you to know that I did create a free essential guide for patching. So if you want to comment patch below, I will send you a link to my free guide to patching. Also, if you're looking to work with me as a brand partner, please feel free to email me at Megan Graham Beauty. The special thing that I give to my clients, my customers, and my team is my personal time. So unfortunately, I don't have time to answer, tons and tons of emails with personal advice about LifeWave patches, but know that I have lots of videos up with so much great free information for you. And lastly, something that I have been sharing a little bit is for brand partners that are not brand partners with me. If you would like to know a little bit more about how I share LifeWave patches and just how I do things differently. So I know network marketing has a bad name, and it is because people are so used to people that are brand partners just constantly barraging them with information, telling them they should buy something, telling them that this product is just for them. And I do things a little bit differently. The way that I have built my entire business has never been to chase. It has always just been to attract, share, provide value that goes well beyond just the people that I help personally and I sign up personally. And so if you'd like more information about that, please feel free to send me an email and just subject line say attraction marketing, and I can send you back some information on how I do things. I know a lot of people feel very overwhelmed because I believe that most people, especially, it seems to be something about LifeWave. I think that most people that join LifeWave as brand partners truly believe it, truly join because they want so very much to help. They want to get the message out. And I think that when they're doing things in that, there is an old way. There's an old way that people have been taught. It is the way that it's called an upline in network marketing. People are telling other people, make a list, go through that list. They're calling it their warm market. And I just personally don't agree with it. It's not how I do things. I don't think it leaves a good taste in most people's mouths. And so I do things a really different way. I think we are in the year 2025, right? And we need to take advantage of the fact that there are so many other ways to share. And you can do network marketing in a way that really makes people feel good and provides a lot of great information, or you can chase people down. And I think at the end, I've always found this in life, that if you chase, you repel. And there's a different way of doing things where you share, you provide a lot of value, and people that want to come to you will come to you naturally. It is a much more natural, easy way to build your business. And the last thing that I just want to say is that people will tell you that network marketing is easy, and people will say that you don't need skills. I don't think that's true either. Of course you need skills. You need skills for every single thing that you do. And if you want to do something well, you have to learn how to do it. You have to put some time into it. And I hate to say it, but most of the time, what we think is the right way, what might come naturally to us, we might just have to learn some new things. And if we learn those new things, you might get your message across more easily. You might face less rejection, and you might get to share the thing that you're passionate about with more people. And so when you do share in a different way, it's amazing how people are attracted to that message, and the right people find you. But the right people don't find you until you come out and you share things. So the last thing that I just wanted to share is that you are also going to see some new content from me on this, on my YouTube. I am going to start sharing. I think this past year I have been dealing with Lyme disease, and it was a hardcore year of chronic illness, for people that don't know that. And I am I'm coming out of that. I've been using my patches. I've been using a lot of different holistic treatments as well, as dictated by my doctor. And as I come out of that, I am expanding things, and I'm just starting to really share other things that I'm passionate about. So I am going to be sharing a lot of videos as well, talking about and sharing how I grew my YouTube channel, how I started back in 2019 with 0 followers, 0 experience, 0 equipment, and how I grew my YouTube channel to 43,000 people. And I didn't do it because I'm perfect. I didn't do it because, I knew all the right things, but I did get started. And I really think my general belief is better done than perfect. And so anyway, I'm going to be sharing some of those things. And I feel like every time I make a content change, people are like, oh my gosh, it's something new. But the whole thing, my whole channel, it's just all about things that I love. So if I'm talking about something, it's because it's such a big part of my life, and I've learned about it, and I hope to bring it to other people, because if I had known some of these things when I started, it would have been so much easier for me. So, anyway, kind of an interesting thing. But if anybody has anything else to say, please feel free to hop into the comments. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I hope this was interesting for you. These patches have been one of the most helpful things that I have ever used. And if you don't catch this, if you don't realize this, the way that I share them is very, very reasonable. I would always rather under-promise and over-deliver. I would always rather that somebody uses the patches and they're pleasantly surprised. I never claim for these to be a treatment or a cure or anything like that. These are for me, they've been an amazing accelerant for my wellness. They have really tied things together and given me results that were incredible. But that said, anytime I talk to a client, it's very, very reasonable, and that's just the way that I help people. It's never looking to, I will never tell you that as soon as you put a patch on, it's going to change your entire life. It is something that takes time and dedication, but it can make just a huge, huge difference. So be consistent, spend your time learning, and yeah, that's it. So stay healthy and stay beautiful, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.